What is the deal, beautiful people? It is your boy, Uncle Rizza. Welcome to the Ignorant Gamers Extravaganza. Feel free to like the video at the end of this if you like the video. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see some more. Feel free to comment, man. This is a topic where I really want you guys to dive in. And I want to see your opinions here. I want to get your point of views. So, this topic has made its way back around courtesy of the Order 1866. And it's a question about a simple equation, and if this equation even makes sense. You know, does the amount of hours of gameplay equal to the value of a game? And I think a lot of us who are involved in the gaming world from a long time ago, and even from a very analytical point of view, this is a no-brainer. You know, the answer to this is always going to be no. And I think nowadays there's a shift in the gaming culture where people look to what something is not and find excuses to conjure up negative opinion and negative energy around it. So I mean, listen, right even before the Order 1866 got out the gate, some jackass on the internet power played through it or whatever, was able to beat it in 5 hours, and the entire internet was up in a shitstorm. You know, 5 hours of gameplay for $60. Fuck that. Fuck Sony. Fuck this PlayStation. I'm going to get a Wii U. They weren't going to get a Wii U. But I think it was very unfair, the statement that this game got out the gate. And I've read a lot of the damage control from the Sony fans about this game, and some of it included some really good points on value versus or game length versus value. You know, if you look at somebody like myself, I really don't have as much leisure time as I once did to game. But, you know, whenever I get some free time, you best believe I'm trying to find a way to waste it on my Xbox or my PC or my Wii U. Definitely not the PlayStation 4 I don't own. I'm sorry, I can't help trolling. But I definitely don't have an immense amount of time like I did before. So games like Dragon Age, you know, I sort of watch from the sideline like, damn it, man, I would love to. Like, that game is so up my alley in terms of interests and gameplay. I'm a huge fan of turn-based combat RPGs, which is not in that game, by the way. But, you know, just to show you, I used to gravitate and still do gravitate towards games that require 40 plus hours to even begin. You know what I mean? And I see these games sometimes and I'm just like, God damn it, man, I just don't have the time to allocate towards it. And to start a game like Dragon Quest and only get about 6 or 7 hours in, like, you're really fooling yourself. I mean, something like Grand Theft Auto, I don't even play it because I don't have the patience to play it. I don't have the time to do the repetitive shit. What I see is repetitive because that's, you know, my attention span is sort of short these days. All I want to do is kill and drive fast. But yeah, so somebody like me, you tell me a game can be had, I can really enjoy a game in a lifespan of 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours. I'm completely happy with that, because that signifies, you know, by the time I get home and I crank out a few videos and I get on the phone with my girl and send her off to bed, and I get about a good half an hour to an hour. That, you know, those days are my better days, because otherwise I'll be on Forza until like 3 in the morning like an idiot, getting no sleep. But those games, they can fit nicely in that time slot and last me about a month, a little at a time, you know, and it's completely enjoyable. I see nothing wrong with that. Even take the last Tomb Raider. I didn't play it on the console, but I sort of played it on my PC because I got my GTX 780, and I wanted to see what it can do. So I went and got that Tomb Raider, and I was amazed. And the Tomb Raider, by the way, I think was about the same length as the Order 1866, and I enjoyed the hell out of that game. And that was part of the defense force for the Order. You know, it doesn't matter how long or short the game is. What matters is there's a consistency in the experience throughout the title. Now, that's where the Order really fell short. Some of the gameplay mechanics and the cutscenes, and you know, there's issues there. But I want to stress that the length of that game, even if it was 5 hours, should not have been a measuring stick for the value of it, the $60 that it was worth. So enter Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Now, this was the game in my Order 1866 video that I pointed out as the extreme, and why I said 8 hours for $60 in the Order 1866 isn't that bad, because you got games like Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes out here selling 5 minutes of gameplay for $30. And this is the same concept. I did the extreme to prove a point, but there's somebody out there that beat this game in like 7 minutes or something. They ran straight to the objective. But I recently got this game on my PC, and first of all, this game is astounding. It is absolutely beautiful. I think this is the best looking game that I've seen to date. And I'm not saying I don't play what are these games called? I don't know, these goddamn PC games with all type of texture mappings. I'm not into that shit. Now, I'm not saying there's not better looking games, but goddamn, this game is the best that I've seen thus far. The game is pretty. It moves pretty. The controls are tight. It's open world, yes, all of that jazz. This game is amazing. And yes, it is the same 7-minute game I was making fun of. So I got in, I played around. Before I knew it, I was about an hour and a half in, and I barely did one objective. I rescued the little boy. And it sort of popped into my head, first of all, we all have different play styles and different paces at which we play these games. And I will say, even if I was able to beat this game in 7 minutes, I'll be damned if it's not the best looking 7 minutes I've ever seen, which makes it worth it. The cutscenes are on point. The atmosphere in the game is through the roof. I like the way they refer to him as Big Boss. Like, everything about this game is dope. And it's $30, and it can be beaten in 7 minutes. That doesn't mean I will beat it in 7 minutes, but for someone like me, again, who doesn't have all day, who is not in college with a fucking huge 12-hour gap between class and lunch, this game is dope to me. I can come home and play this a little at a time and be completely satisfied. So you really, this is an argument that I feel it only applies to individual gamers and how you game. Now, my last example, and why I really want everyone to understand that these things can coincide, is in the journalist world, it's known as, or the social media world, it's known as long form and short form. So you take something like Facebook, who allows you, I think, like 2,500 characters on a post, and then you take something like Twitter that only allows you 250. In both camps, people can say some very profound things and share some very amazing things, or not so amazing, thought-provoking, emotion-evoking thoughts within the 250 or the 2,500 allowed characters. And there's no way we shouldn't compare the value of it. You know what I mean? I've read some things like the homie, I forgot his name, the homie that played the original Spock passed today, and I read his last tweet, and it was heartfelt. It was such a dope thing. And at the end of it, he said LLAP, which Star Trek fans in the building, that stands for live long and prosper. And this man he touched so many hearts, and Star Trek was such a part of the nerd life And till his death, you know, he was so intertwined with that character that he played and people loved, that the last thing he said in social media was LLAP. You know, and then I get on Facebook and read somebody's rant about their baby mother with fucking 50 run-on sentences. Like, you get what I'm saying? Let's not compare value with length. Long form and short form can both be excellent portrayals of quality. Yeah, I think that needs to be overstated here. You know, and again, I want to bring Drive Club into it. There's this conversation I have with Snow. You know, Snow loves his Drive Club, and Snow has the ability to play games that are mediocre, so to speak. He'll play a game that's ranked a 6.5 and have fun, because he's that type of gamer. I don't have that type of time. So when I play a game, I want it to be absolutely amazing. I want it to be the best of the best. So I only play games that are 9.0 and above, right? And I'm not faulting him. And he defends Drive Club, and a lot of his points are very valid. Drive Club is a good game. The game is fine. It had some issues, yes, but it's a good game. Now, when you take the launch of Drive Club, where that game was pretty much damned to hell because of the server issues, right? And then the Sony boys were upset, and they really had nothing to point at until Halo Master Chief Collection showed up. Halo Master Chief Collection was a godsend in every sense of the word, but it just couldn't get it together. They couldn't get the goddamn matchmaking algorithms to work. So what do you have here at face value? You have these two games that don't work, and you have fanboys yelling at each other, and people saying, well, at the end of the day, Xbox can't get it together either because Halo didn't work. But when you parse through the noise, these games aren't the same. They're very same concepts, yes, but one game, when it does work, when it starts to work, is a 7 out of a 10, and that's given he's being generous. And then the other game is a 10 out of a 10 that didn't work. So I mention this because there's parallels to be drawn here. You can't do either or. You know, you can't look at the length of a game and measure its quality and its worth, and you can't look at the faults of the game and measure its quality and worth, because they're different games, they're different caliber of developers, different legacies. So because Halo doesn't work doesn't mean it's in the same review rating as Drive Club, and that's what a lot of people were arguing. Like, I mean, come on, let's just stop, guys. You know, Gran Turismo can come out and not work, and it's still not be in the same category as Drive Club. So I want people to really reassess what you view as value, because to me, a game that is able to deliver the potency and the experience of what makes it dope in 5 hours is worth more to me as a game that spreads it out over 50 hours, because I'll never experience it. I don't have the time to. So let's not fucking tie these developers up and get up in arms because games aren't as long as Final Fantasy VII anymore these days. And you're gonna find both, guys. You're gonna find both. And you know, again, I'm going around in circles, but just to show you how much examples of this are out there. Look at Destiny. That game has endless hours. I know people that did 200 hours in that game and still did not a goddamn fucking thing. Still have no storyline. They still don't know what that game is about. You know, that's not life to me. That's not gaming to me. But yeah, hit the comments, man. I want to know how you guys feel about this. I want to know if you're willing to really readjust your value versus length or quantity or quality. You know, we really need to stop measuring sticks. We need to start paying attention to, like I always said, the message that's given to us. And I stand by this. That's how I review games. I don't review games based on graphics and storyline. I review games based on what the developer is telling me that it is. Because at the end of the day, it's their product, it's their vision, and that's what I'm playing. So when I sit up on YouTube and watch an interview and a game developer is telling me about how knack is gonna change the platform genre. You know, that's what I expect. And when it comes out and it's short of that, then yo, go fuck yourself. You did not deliver what you promised. You know what I mean? It's your boy Uncle RZA. Comment on the video. I want to get you guys involved in this conversation. Like the video, share the video, help us grow. Spread it to all the gamers out there. Let them know we exist. And I'm out of here, man. Peace.